And, how do you deal with that?
How do I personally deal with being in a bubble?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I think it's something that I've known my entire life. I guess I don't want to say that the police have necessarily been like an enemy, but it's definitely been like, I guess, this stigma between a relationship between myself and the police as a minority. And so I something I'm personally used to. So I don't necessarily think I deal with it. I just kind of accept it. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's not okay. But that's generally what it is, I would say.
And so, what do you think? Are there any ways that we can help break down that kind of that view, or how do we break that down?
I think it's already been said. I think you have to see the cops in the light outside that. So like the cops that I know back home, I don't view them that way at all. But I like know them personally, But everybody I don't know and they just see me, it's like kind of like just a similar relationship. Like you see somebody in uniform and it's just a natural thing. But if you break down that barrier where like everybody is a human being, then I think you get away from that train of thought.
And what do you think about the local law enforcement here? Do you see them? I mean, have you ever had to work with anyone here on campus, and how is that relationship? And I guess if you compare, growing up in Dallas and the law enforcement here, are they the same? Are they different?
No, I mean here I would definitely say it's probably a lot more tolerant than back home, but it's still, that factor is still there. But it's definitely better and probably the best law enforcement that I've been around. But like you said, I think it's smaller and I'm not the same constant exposure to it. But it's definitely better than I would say back home in Dallas.
Is there anything that we're bad at? And this is, we're using this as a good training platform to evaluate our department and really to look at ourselves and say, hey, what do we need to work on? Is there anything that you guys see as, our job in law enforcement here is to serve the community, to serve you guys, and gals. And what can we do better? Is there a better service that we can provide? Is it reaching out to more student groups? Is it, what can be done? Because there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, I would really go hard on that, getting to know as many faces as possible. I wanted to return to the issue of sort of normalizing all students, like treating everyone like they're just a person no matter what. Like one of the guys, one of my friends, there was a gender fook party and he was in drag and he interacted with a police officer. And he said the police officer was just totally natural to him and it was a really positive experience for him. So whereas a lot of people would have been caught off guard or like acted differently. And in issues of sexual assault, if you've got two students of the same gender who are in a relationship together, treating that as a normal relationship and just like you'd treat anything else. So normalizing all identities on campus is really important to me.
Okay, that's great. No, that's good.
Oh, do me elaborate a little bit on what normalizing means. What's that?
So, I mean, it's like treating everyone like a straight white male, but just like treating everyone just like they're just a student and not having any sort of stigmas or biases negatively around minority groups, whether it be sexually, racially, whatever. I think that's really important for making students feel like they have equal claim to this university and making everyone feel like they're home here.
Yeah, okay.
It's really cool. I would like you to build it from the top, though, because I remember, just talk about the issue of normalizing relationships, because it's a self-contained statement.
Okay, so build it. Where do you want me to start?
Well, why is it so important to have normalize this?
Okay.
What's the big deal about that?
So again, no student wants to feel like they're any different than any other in a negative way, or that they're any less a Stanford student than anyone else. So the police can do their part and sort of taking on that normalizing process of treating every student like they're fully a Stanford student, because a lot of black males I've heard or Latino males feel like, I don't feel like I'm as much of a Stanford student because I get this reaction and it's very subtle and it's very implicit, so people don't even realize they're doing it. But a lot of times interacting with the police, they feel like there is that gap, and I feel like I wouldn't be treated this way if I were a straight white male. So I don't, maybe that sounds bad, but treating every student like they are a straight white male and just treating everyone like they're just a student and there's no identity around it that's going to make it a negative thing.
Thank you very much.
You guys are great.
Do you have anything else to add?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Hold
actually,
on.
oh yeah.
We just get focused on.
I mean, building off that, like, I feel like it's really important to also be aware of those feelings of like stigmatization. Like, so understanding that if you stop like 5 white guys out of 100, it's a different thing than stopping 5 like black guys out of 100, just because of like the stereotypes and like more internalized fears, etc. And kind of being cognizant and aware of like the way you handle yourself in a situation. And like Imani's saying, so there isn't this gap, and that it is more of like a normalized and everyone is treated on the same level. It does take like active understanding of the way that people can feel, even if they get virtually the same treatment. It just can be perceived very differently by a certain person.
Yeah, we don't want you guys to be hypersensitive, but you have to be aware that you're going to be, even if you're acting the exact same way, you're going to be perceived very differently, obviously, by different students.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's a very good point.